an after story works so well on social media, rewards tidy arcs and engagement, and also rage bait.
I am pregnant with
Why is
my
she only
first
talking about this
child.
I just don't know. And both of the baby daddies are of that faith. Is it because Krept is more known? Because we don't know who the baby daddy is. We just know you as Krept BM. That's the only way I know you outside in these streets, girl. But you have a lot to say, babe, for a man that set you up. Sasha, you have a lot to say for a ninja that set you up for life, baby girl. Clearly you're not from these streets, outside in these streets. You're not from the hood, girl. When a man does something like that for you have to remember it, girl. It's given that you grew up like a spoiled brat. Pretty privileged. This is the way these galdem go on that are pretty on the outside, but on the inside. A lot of the time we see these type of galdem go into this. Because you have to understand, you see, when it comes to this particular denomination, you don't need to have no gifts, you don't need to have no tax, you just need to sit there with the canon, and you've automatically got an audience. You just need to say Jesus is Lord, and you've automatically got followers. You just got to sit there and just internalize misogyny and patriarchy, and be a pick-me, and sound DUMB, and just say that men are the head, and whatever. She's experienced so much trauma. She's just had a baby for a second baby daddy that has not honoured her, has put no ring on her finger. So, like, you're going to be internalizing that real bad. Maybe you need to deal with that. Like, self-love, like, looking at, you know, like, unpacking that. Instead of sitting on a podcast and trying to tell girls, because I don't see a rebrand. I don't see a healed woman. I don't see a woman that has anything to offer or teach anyone. I honestly don't. Just had a baby and 1 month later is preaching strict patriarchal rules with no visible healing work. What are they actually offering the mothers who follow them? You need to ask, is this spiritual accountability or just a branding pivot dressed up as morality? I want to look into the church cult that she supposedly goes to, which is Potter's House. The leader of this is WAYMAN Mitchell. I have had survivors come forward from Potter's House. Those two large influencers are also from Potter's House. What's their names? We're going to look at some survivors' controversies and patterns, because my argument is the reason why she's outside in these streets going absolutely MAD is because she's in a church cult called Potter's House. I've had survivors coming forward, and I am going to give an account of absolute horrific ABUSE. But let's look at the patterns and abuse and indoctrination and what's been documented online. So there are survivor groups and testimonies. There's also an active Facebook group, an ex-communities Facebook group that I'm actually a part of, so I can actually vouch for it and say that I'm actually an active member myself. And it's called Escaping the Potter's House, WAYMAN Mitchell Survivor Group, where former members share memories, threads, and first-hand accounts about coercive control, isolation, and abusive leadership. You can see this black and white thinking, very narrow lens approach that she has. These are all primary survivor sources. Ex-members and researchers have applied cult doctrine to the frameworks, including BITE model, which looks at controlling the behavior, information control, thought control, and emotional control. So we can see in her behaviors the rhetoric that she has around the other group, because we know that church cults demonize the faith that Krept's with. We can see the allegiance and the patriotism that he has for Charlie Kirk and the US president. So those people are severely indoctrinated, okay? The typical high control group, they use the typical tactics, behavior regulation, information control, all classic elements survivors report. There are many accounts from survivors that have experienced cult abuse here, so this is the reason why she's going crazy online. The journalists have produced long investigative pieces that raise concerns about leadership behavior, use of fair tactics and cult tactics, and harm to vulnerable people associated with some local Potter's House church. So how Potter's House dynamics map onto the behavior we're seeing in Sasha Ellese? Because this is allegedly, let's say that she goes to Potter's House. We have survivors, there's a whole Facebook group with thousands of survivors on there. If you go on Wikipedia, you'll see the controversies and the whole bit there about cults. Let's look at how potentially, if she is attending Potter's House, then this is an expose. She's definitely severely indoctrinated and probably in religious psychosis, yeah? Allegedly. And that we're seeing with her having the colourful, sexualised past, rapid hyper-religious rebrand,